Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. And I have a video for you today on one of my favorite ships, the winter event ship from a couple of years ago. Among the non-legendary ships, this ship is the one that has my best damage game, 228k. 6-kill game, not recorded before the era of recording. We're here on Warrior's Path. We're top tier, and we are in the Soviet Tier 7 premium battleship, the Lenin. Now, Lenin Project 21 ship was never built, designed by the Soviet Union as an answer or their interpretation of the Nelson class. A couple of differences from the Nelson. The Lenin has an armor belt. I wouldn't necessarily call it an icebreaker bow. You can if you want, but I wouldn't necessarily call it that. It doesn't really go up very much above the waterline. But it does have it. The secondaries of this ship, in my opinion, are geared more towards the rear of the ship, similar to the Jean Bart's secondary arrangement. You can see kind of that ski jump or ski ramp there, and that's what I call the tail of the ship, the stern, because it kind of goes right down into the water. That's where all those secondaries are at. And you also have the ability to mount an airplane instead of just secondaries. So the Nelson doesn't have an airplane or anything like that, but we have the spotter plane available to us here in the Lenin. The other similarities between these ships, obviously the gun arrangement is very similar. The HE fire chance is very similar. Nelson 46, at least in my build. Lenin 41. Now you could do more HE damage if you spec Lev Gawler for Lenin, but I wouldn't do that. I think that Kedrov is definitely the guy you want to put here in the Lenin. All right, lobbing some shells out there at a mines. I'm going to date this video a little bit. I think this is before the advent of the CE designation. I believe that ship is now a mines CE. So we're fighting what is now a CE ship. And I think the Lenin may at some point become a CE ship, along with the Jean Bart. Just one man's guess. Just going to throw that out there. They might CE those ships because they know plenty of suckers will pay for a Lenin or a Jean Bart if they weren't around when it came out. All right, so pretty standard Russian battleship play. You're going to put your nose towards the enemy and bow tank. You've got a strong armor profile. You have strong armor-piercing shells, and we are going to use those. The front gun arrangement, I mean, yeah, I suppose you can argue it's easier for dummies, and maybe that's why I like this ship, but, you know, whatever. I mean, every ship can get killed. You have to know how to protect the broadside and the citadel. And so in that respect, it's not any different than any other Russian ship. We're backing up here, trying to take out that mines. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? That guy's not coming over here. I'm not going to waste my life chasing down a mines. So we are going to divert our attention elsewhere on the battlefield. You know, I'll point out, you'll see it in action in more clarity later on. But I think the Lenin has excellent speed in reverse. And for a ship that relies on bow tanking, that's important, and I think it is much better reverse than the Nelson has. Now, it's been a hot minute since I played the Nelson, so I can't swear that, but I believe the Lenin has better stop-start turnaround time, like going from all head full to all head reverse. The Nelson is not as quick as the Lenin. And we'll see that reverse in play sooner rather than later in this match. All right, so we're going to head into the middle. I really don't like to go into the middle of Warrior's Path in a warship right in the beginning in a battleship, pardon. Too many little rocks, too many places for a destroyer to hide around there. In my opinion, a lot of danger being torped. Now, there is the kind of alleyway up the middle. Again, I think that's a risky play to go up the middle. I would skirt around to the outside. Now, it's easier to go over the side with the big islands. The island arrangement, in my opinion, on Warrior's Path is like a V shape. And the right side of the minimap is the point of the V. The left side of the minimap is the open end of the V. That's how those islands are arranged. At least that's my interpretation of it. So in a battleship, it's easier to go around the right side than the left side. Did see some enemy ships pop over on the left side. I am cognizant that they are over there. We are down right now in this match. So I'm just trying to get to a place where I can engage the Vladivostok here. Would love it if I could get some broadside on him. This is not an ideal angle, but we're going to shoot anyway. See if I can gauge his backing up in the right way. And as you can see, grouping, dispersion at this distance, not so great. Not so great. So, ideally in a Lenin, you're going to be 11 kilometers or closer to the enemy. You're going to be bow tanking them and reversing while they move in on you, and then you'll just beat them to death with these Russian guns. That's how an ideal scenario works in this ship. All right, we've spotted the enemy destroyer, the only remaining one. It is a USS Black. And even though it's all overpens, still too much damage for the Black to withstand. Kill number one, we do take some damage to the port side, trying to make sure that the Vladivostok is not shooting at us. And more damage from the port side. And so we will begin to turn. In doing so, we turn away from the Black's last gasp torpedoes. Shooting out here to Kansas, I don't know, maybe he got torped or something. Oh, there's another battleship over there. Never mind. All right, do a little bit of damage, recalculating our aim. And we are going to turn towards these enemies that have been pot-shotting us over here. Got a Bismarck. And got a kill pinch for our second kill. And I want to say, I think there's one more battleship over here. So once I complete my turn, there's the other battleship. It is an Iowa. I am going to go to full stop. And then I said, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should push up. So I go full ahead. And I said, wait a minute, if I go over there, it's going to be 2-on-1. So we'll go full reverse right now. We're at 13 knots. And I'm going to show you how quickly the Lenin goes into full reverse. And it is rather fast. All right, so we got the Bismarck here, kind of bow on to us in most respects, and the Iowa's giving us a better angle. We're at 0 knots right now. And from 0 knots to the full reverse, it's going to be here in a minute or so. It's not going to take very long. Salvo out on the Iowa, and we are at 11 knots in reverse. I think their max is 11.5. And so we're now at full reverse. So to me, that's rather quick to go from 0 to full reverse. And we're actually going faster, 11.8, 11.7. So I guess it's 11.7. 11.9, I spoke too soon. Anyway, you can back up really quickly in the Lenin, and that's good because that's going to allow you the time to prevent from being overtaken by onrushing enemy ships. We're going to kill pinch that Bismarck after he ate a raft of torpedoes. And so now we have just the Iowa left, and now we can change our tactics because it's no longer 1 versus 2. So we went to all ahead full. And we're just going to keep our bow towards the Iowa and use this front gun arrangement to pick him apart. Now look, as you can see, he's giving us almost a full broadside, not totally. I mean, I'd say that's probably like a 160-degree angle, just eyeballing it. No problem penetrating the armor of the Iowa. The Iowa is not heavily armored. It's a fast battleship. So you don't have any problem punching through the sides with a heavy armor-piercing shell.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
And we're continuing to advance. And right now, the Iowa commander should have sped up and turned toward us. He's not doing that. So we're going to go through the bow plate. Pretty good hit there. Get a cap reset. And he's starting to turn a little bit, but he's not turning aggressively enough, in my opinion. So we're going to moderate our position towards him a little bit. And this time when we fire, we're going to go through the bow plate again. And by going through the bow plate here, sometimes you can access the citadel. And so we're going to line it up. We're going to hazard his shot and go through the bow plate and get that citadel that I was just talking about. We are over 100,000 damage. All right, he is continuing to give us this broadside. So I'm just going to continue to bow onto him because I can take these bow shots and he can't. Now he is turning a little bit now. I think he's coming to ram me because he knows he won't be able to beat me. So I'm going to shoot up into the superstructure here, try to knock out a turret. Not successful, but he is unable to ram us and unable to shoot us when our citadel is exposed. So I'm not saying the Lenin is good at stern tanking here, but I think he makes a really big mistake here. He's going to shoot a full salvo of HE, and I think that was a bad mistake. Should have shot armor piercing. Now we're going to turn and get these turrets lined up and just fire them when we have them available. And there we're going to finish off the Iowa for our 4th kill. All right, so we're officially on the hunt for a Kraken. Got the Vladivostok out here. That largely missed. We do have a hit point advantage. That being said, we're not going to have to do a whole lot of work here on the Vladivostok, which is a very strong ship, but like any Russian battleship, don't want to expose your side. He's giving a lot better profile. We're going to shoot this first salvo of armor piercing towards him. He's taking damage from off screen. I don't know what cruiser that is over there shooting at him, but it may be shooting armor piercing, so maybe Baltimore or something like that, a heavy cruiser. Although I think he's also burning him down as well. Anyway, we're going to shoot some HE for the one and only time in this match. He's bow onto us. We're going to shoot this HE and get that fire going. And the Kraken unleashed. All right, here on the victory screen, the Kraken unleashed medal. 131,594 total damage. 5 big kills, couple citadel hits, and a handful of cap defended flags. We ended up with just over 600,000 silver and 7864 ship XP and commander XP in the Lenin. Truly one of my favorite ships in the game. All right, in a minute here, we're going to go into the team results. There we are at the top of the board, 2542 base XP, 5 big kills. There was no high caliber medal handed out in this match, so I don't feel bad. And also want to note, the Vladivostok was 1 kill away from a Kraken. So by killing the Vladivostok, we prevented him from getting a Kraken while we got a Kraken. And that is the very best kind of Kraken to get. Anyway, hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it.